As you can see, we are just starting the last boss in Heart of Fear LFR 25 man, obviously, because that's all LFR is. So we are doing Grand Empress Shek'zeer, and obviously, as you can see, we are a Mistweaver monk, which is absolutely lovely. This fight has an awful lot of healing to do, so I can't wait to see just how much I can actually do this time round. I've done this fight a couple of other times on this, and both times I've pulled about, well, anywhere between 70 and about 90k. You know, there's so much burst healing, especially towards the end, that it does become a drain on your mana, but you know, it's just something you have to get used to really on quite a lot of these bosses, especially when the other healers are slacking a bit. Anyway, obviously, what I'm really going to want to be doing to get the most out of my healing is just literally spreading all my AoEs everywhere. So that means spreading my renewing mist, you know, getting as much chi as possible in the most efficient manner to then pretty much be using on my uplifts. And then obviously, you know, we can use that with our Thunder Focus T to pretty much just get more uplifts on more people. And as you can see, already Uplift has done 1.8 mil healing just from a bit of spamming. You know, we are on 70% mana, but we've got 3 mana T in the bag, and mana doesn't seem like too much of an issue. Even when I have actually gone on some of these fights, I've still been able to keep on going for quite a while, just, you know, just keeping mana T in the bag and making sure that I'm not being stupid with mana, basically. Something does really start to hit hard is when you start spamming Spinning Crane Kick. I'll show you that in a minute. It does generate chi, and it does do an awful lot of healing on top of that. Look, I'll do a couple now, and you'll be able to see, look, it really does drain your mana a lot. I mean, as you can see, it did just eat through about 10% just there. It's so fast at draining your mana. You've really got to be careful with that. But at the same time, you know, especially in times like this, you can use it with like your Russian Jade Wind, and it will do some absolutely ridiculous healing. Let's just roll over here, do 1 or 2 over here, and roll back, get a chi wave going out. That's generally what I like doing with that, because it's a really powerful spell, but you just got to make sure you're using it properly, because if you're not using it to its maximum efficiency, you're just really going to be wasting shitloads of mana, which is, it's not very nice, the amount that it costs, but it's understandable because it does so much fucking healing and it generates chi. Anyway, we're on 70k HPS at the moment. The fight's not really that far into it yet, and this bit we probably will drop a reasonable amount of HPS just because there's not as much going on. So because there's not as much AoE damage here, I'm just going to start using Chi Wave a bit more, but I'm going to keep spreading out my renewing mist and keep using those uplifts in between, because you can't afford to stop. Well, the way I like to think of it as a monk, you can't really afford to have too much downtime. You've got to keep going, you've got to keep going, keep that renewing mist on cooldown constantly. Even if people are topped off, you still need to be using that renewing mist, because as soon as people get their health lower, you know, you need to be getting those uplifts going out, and you need to already have that on people for your uplifts to even do anything, basically. But at the same time, look, as you can see, my mana now is been dented quite hard, so I was probably going a bit too hard there. You know, you can't just spam jab constantly like I was doing just then, so not always a good thing to do. Oh, I've got an awful lot of spirit, lovely. That's where shamans come in handy, isn't it? With your lovely little manatides. I love them, shamans, I love them. Anyway, as you can see, I've got 8.5k spirit. I do have a flask on though, so I would usually have 7.5k. I do have the Dark Moon Fair trinket, which decides to proc quite a lot, which is absolutely lovely, quite orgasmic if I may say so. So yeah, I really do love that trinket. That's a lovely trinket, but it's a bit expensive. Bit expensive, but if you've got the money, and well, if you've got the money and it's your main, let me put it that way, then it's probably worth it. If it's not your main, then you're a bit retarded if you buy it, just saying, because I only ever bought it for this guy because he was my main. I wouldn't buy it for my pally as well because it costs so much, just saying. Anyway, obviously I'm just going to keep spreading the renewing mist around now. just generating a bit of, well, there is quite a lot of damage actually going around. And if you look on the live, oh, we can get another revival going out. Revival is really nice. I mean, as you can see, we've cast revival twice now. It's done 1.9 mil healing. On average, I've found it does about 800k healing per revival in a 25 man. So people generally wait until people are really low as a monk before you actually cast revival. On 25 people doing 800k healing, revival only heals about 32k per person, which isn't really much if you think about it that way, is it? You think 32k a person, that's shit, that's nothing. So yeah, guys, you can cast revival if everybody's like on 80% health or 85%. Revival will still like do the same amount of healing as if everybody was on like 10%. You know, there might be a, well, it would be a wiser decision to cast it when everyone was on 10%, because it's giving everyone a bit of a better chance to survive, isn't it? But if you're bothered about the amount of healing it's going to do, you can... If you're bothered about the amount of healing it's going to do, you can cast it when everyone's like above 85% easily. And it's still going to do exactly the same amount. Anyway, more spinning crane kicks. As you can see, I've actually changed my the healing timers on my mixed scrolling battle text, and you can probably see it's literally spamming my screen, like, because I've just set them so it shows so many heals. Like the threshold is like a second now, so which isn't very long at all, is it really? The reason I've done that is so I can actually see how much healing each tick of my renewing mist etc is actually doing. Oh, my mana's getting quite low now. But yeah, I do like to know how much they're actually doing, because as you can see, my renewing mist just then healed for 13k with 10k overheal, so pretty much you can judge from that if you do an uplift, let's say it hits for 1k on each person, even though it doesn't, I know it doesn't, so don't use that as an exact figure, but let's check one out here. 25k healing, 31k overhealing. So I know that if I did an uplift just then, it would hit just under half of the people, which is about 50% efficiency. 50% efficiency isn't really great, so I would decide not to cast an uplift there. Obviously it can be hard to keep an eye on this sometimes, so you know, often I just kind of scan through my raid frames and see if people's health is actually generally low. But if you are really wanting to get the maximum efficiency out of your monk, you can do that to make sure, you know, you're casting your uplifts at the opportune times, and especially if you're getting low on mana like I am now, it's definitely a good idea to be looking at how much overhealing and healing your renewing mist is doing, because if your renewing mist is overhealing, then your uplift isn't gonna heal them either, is it, basically? And it could even overheal on the people that you're renewing mist healed if they're high health, but it doesn't heal people for that much anyway, does it? I mean, if I do one then, 25k, not bad, not a bad amount, but it's more or less about 7-8% of your health, isn't it? Not even that. But yeah, it does kind of show you how powerful uplift actually is, because our revival, which is like a tranquility to us, that only did like 32k healing on each person. Our uplift does 25, so that really does show that uplift is a pretty damn powerful spell. As we can see now, you know, our revival's back off cooldown already, so as soon as people get low again, I'm going to be popping that. Most fights I don't think we'll be able to use it 3 times. I think most fights will probably be able to use it twice, maybe even once, depending on how into the fight you use it. But as you can see now, there are a lot of people about 80%, so I could use it now, but there are quite a few people that are topped off as well, so I'm going to decide not to. I can use it now. There we go, 850k healing with 150k overhealing. That is really not bad at all, really not bad. I mean, I could use it now. I mean, you're probably thinking now would have been a better time, but really, it probably would have done exactly the same amount of healing, you know. Because as long as people are above, like, well, as long as people are above about 90%, it's pretty much going to do the same amount, sadly. Anyway, as you can see now, our uplifts aren't quite as healing as much, and it's because, well, our Thunder Focus T isn't ready. I probably should have saved it a bit for when that massive nuke of damage did come, so maybe we'll get another nuke bit in a second, maybe. That'd be nice. There we go, here's a nuke bit. So I'm going to pop our Thunder Focus T, get Renewing Mist upon as many people as possible. And as you can see, uplift healing for 400k. 400k uplift, 300k. If you're telling me that's not insane, then you're insane yourself. 200k, 500k overheal. So I need to get closer to the boss. 500k uplift. So as you can see, some of the numbers coming from uplift here are absolutely ridiculous. You've really got to be timing your Thunder Focus T right, because at the end of the day, guys, it doesn't matter about your Renewing Mist. The reason we want to be using our Renewing Mist is so we can get that fucking uplift on people, because it's overpowered as hell. Basically, yeah. As you can see, Thunder Focus T is ready yet again, so we're going to get some more massive uplifts coming in now. So let's have a look. 350k, 320k. I am out of mana, so I'm going to start, well, using up those couple of mana T I've got left. Not healing as much now though, really. Let's get another one going. That one was, I didn't actually see how much that one healed. Anyway, I think those have probably ended, but 180k, not bad. Let's use our chi give thing. 130k, so they're still not bad at all, still not bad. But obviously the more people we've got our Renewing Mist on, the more it's going to heal, so you really want to be using the Thunder Focus T for those uplifts, not for the big single target heal. That's a bit crap in my opinion. And I have already defeated this encounter, so I can't get my lovely Amber Encased treasure pouch. It is going to make me rich for the rest of eternity. However, we did do 68k HPS. Not as good as I did before actually. There was one fight I did about 92 on. I don't know why I did lower this time. I think I've been doing exactly the same, but as you can see, uplift is just way up there, followed by our Renewing Mist, which we're going to keep on cooldown. Together they did about 72% of our healing, which is ridiculous. The other 30% was made up just by the bit of chi waves, you know, obviously our mastery is in there. Revival, it didn't do much healing compared to the rest of the spells. I mean, it's an extremely powerful cooldown though, but it just, in comparison to the uplift, it's nothing. Spinning Crane Kick is quite nice, but if we go on there, Spinning Crane Kick 2.6 mil healing. If we have a look at overhealing, 4 mil overhealing, so it's not the best. However, uplift 13 mil overhealing, healing done 20 mil. So again, it's a large overhealing margin, but we can't avoid that. But either way, guys, I would say as long as your uplift's doing over 130, 140k healing, it's definitely worth casting. If it's not going to be doing over 140, 130k, just pop a chi wave out. I wouldn't suggest going for the other talents. They're a bit overhyped, let's say. Chi burst is shit. You need to be in the position. It's not worth it. Rather spend the well, I'd rather spend the chi on uplift AoE rather than any of this AoE, unless you're crap with your Renewing Mist, which you shouldn't be. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up, comment and subscribe to our channel, because we've got tons of more videos on the way, and hopefully in the near future we will be releasing some more heroics like we did in Dragon Soul. Woo! Everybody scream. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you soon.